second time being here. Now we got a catchweight fight at 190 between Curtis Doolen and Jacksland. Devon Jackson.
I am very much looking forward to this fight. You know, I mean, even though it's both their first fight, I'm very much looking forward to it because both these guys are on my social media and they were both very confident coming into this week.
Most definitely. I had the opportunity to speak to Curtis Doolen on my podcast, speaking to him about his fight and his journey to this fight. There's a guy who's lost well over 100 pounds. I believe he weighed at 400 pounds at one point. Came down to 190, and he's fighting tonight.
You know, every time I see Curtis Doolen post a Facebook update, he's either punching somebody in the face, getting punched in the face, or running 5 miles. I got to respect it.
Most definitely, and he's, I believe, 32 years of age, has a wife and 3 children. So he's another guy, works full-time, finds time to get in the gym. You know, he doesn't do this full-time, but he tries as much as possible.
And beyond that, he recently lost his father, so this is kind of dedicated to his father.
Yes.
And the whole family fight, so this is kind of like a family tradition for them.
Most definitely, as you can see on the screen, backwards hat's Davey Doolen, forward hat Mike Doolen, and the young gentleman putting the Vaseline on his face is Duff.
Coach Duff Holmes from MBMMA. Curtis has been very confident all week, as his opponent has been. So again, I'm very, very interested to see how this plays out.
He gives up a little height and reach, but when you get these guys in there, height and reach don't always mean everything. A lot of times you can get underneath someone.
Well, especially it depends how that taller fighter utilizes it. You know, I had the opportunity to spar with Devin a little bit, probably about 8 weeks ago or so. One of the things I notice about him is he keeps his chin up and backs up a little bit. So let's see if Curtis can take advantage of that with an overhand right.
As you can see here, as Curtis Doolen goes running around the cage, he's got a great fan base here. He's supported very well.
Half of them have the last name Doolen.
Yeah. Probably more Doolens in here than anyone else.
I'm not trying to pick a fight with them.
Nope. All great guys, though.
Absolutely. Very respectful. Now here we have Devon Jackson. While Curtis Doolen has been in MBMMA with the same crew, Devin really feels confident because he's went out and got a little bit of training from everybody. He's doing jiu-jitsu at Henzo Gracie Latham. He's doing his MMA with Justin Schornborn at Garage MMA. He's doing his boxing over at D-Box with a very amateur pedigree. Coach Christian, I don't want to butcher his last name, but he's got a very, very high pedigree boxing background. And he thinks doing that a la carte training from several different areas is going to give him that advantage.
So this should be an interesting fight. These are 2 fighters making their MMA debut inside the Cage Wars cage.
Devin is definitely the bigger person by nature. He had to cut 25 to 30 pounds to make this weight.
And this is an octagon. I do believe this cage has been used.
This cage was the one that I used to train in one of the MMA schools I was at. The UFC used to rent it when they came to Madison Square Garden. This is truly a regulation UFC size cage.
That's not something you see at most fights.
No.
I'm going to throw up the ring announcer right now.
The following contest scheduled for 3 rounds in our catchweight 190-pound division. Introducing first to my left, fighting out of the red corner, representing Mohawk Valley Mixed Martial Arts out of New Hartford, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Curtis Doolen. And his opponent out of the blue corner to my right, representing the Henzo Gracie Academy in Latham, New York, he is Devon Jackson. And your referee for this bout is Mr. Alexius Phoenix.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we get the final instructions from Alexius Phoenix.
Both these guys are ready to go. Look at them. I told you they were confident all week.
Yeah, both of these look like, I don't think there's any real hatred towards each other. They're just ready to get in there and win.
They're ready to fight.
Yeah, they just want to fight someone. Neither one can stay back. And here we go. We meet in the middle. There's no touching the gloves. We're going.
Now, Curtis is definitely the shorter man with the shorter reach. Let's see if he can take advantage of it.
Oh, he's landing some shots already, just what you spoke of.
Now, if you notice, Devin keeps that chin up. He's taller.
As Devin's trying to work that right underhook.
A trip being the shorter man is definitely going to be more difficult for Curtis.
Both fighters throwing some big punches. Kick from Jacksland right there.
Jacksland's hands are down. Doolen's trying to take advantage of that overhand right.
Jackson looked like he was a little hurt when he pulled away for a second. He looked like he kind of grabbed himself.
No, I
wasn't sure what it was, the reaction, but that's what it appeared to me.
I sparred with Devin. He's a pretty tough kid. I mean, I gave it to him a little bit. He's a tough kid. I give him credit. Now, if you notice, Curtis is already mouth breathing a little bit. I know he's been running miles, but he really shouldn't be breathing with his mouth open. Let's see how that plays out in the later rounds. Devin is definitely dictating the distance right now, but he's still backing up with that chin up. So it's going to come down to who takes advantage of whatever opportunity presented here.
Although you got Curtis Doolen who keeps charging forward and landing headshots. Hasn't really connected anything too strong or significant, but he's landing shots enough to, I would say, put him up right now on the judges' scorecard.
Oh, it's so far definitely Curtis's fight.
As it looks like Jackson just keeps trying to lock him up as he gets in there. Oh, big right hand by Doolen.
Devin says he's not hurt, but usually that happens when something stings a little bit.
Yeah, his mouth's wide open as well. Doolen just keeps eating those leg kicks.
Now here's the problem though, Doolen's throwing those punches, but he's not putting his hips behind him.
No, it's all upper body.
All arm punches.
Yeah.
That's not going to hurt somebody. You got to turn that rear hip over, turn that hip over, and throw it.
Let me tell you, if he did that on that punch right to the jaw, that would have ended him.
Over.
Oh, that was a decent left right there by Doolen.
It is, but he's got to work in off the jab.
Yep.
The shorter opponent always has to work in, most times off the jab.
Nice two knees by Jacksland. Both fighters seem to be barking at each other inside the cage.
Now Curtis is backing off a little bit, though. It looks like Jacksland is kind of taking control of the fight.
Jacksland looks like he's trying to utilize that jab.
He is.
Hasn't really landed any, though, with it.
Curtis's mouthpiece is hanging out, though. I mean,
yeah, he just tucked it right back in after
10 seconds left.
Interesting first round. A great first round by both fighters.
That was a great first round. You know what? I'd almost call that 50-50. Any judge could call that either way.
Oh, most definitely.
Jacksland finished stronger than Curtis did.
I would agree. I really just think Doolen's volume and his more significant strikes, I think there were just a little bit more to edge that round.
I agree, but you got to remember whatever the judges may see. You know, so they may have seen that last 45 seconds from Jacksland as more of a deciding factor for the round. That's the problem with letting something like that go to the judges. We don't know what they're seeing.
Most definitely.
Miss Michelle bringing our round two around.
She's been the ring card girl here at Cage Wars for quite some time. Both fighters, Jackson's got his hands above his head. Doolen looked pretty pumped, giving his coach a big pound inside the corner. And look at Doolen trying to.
Listen, the Doolens fight at the weekend barbecues. It's part of life.
These guys, they're a show within themselves.
I love it.
Awesome. Here we go, round two. Nice shot by Doolen.
But if you notice, Doolen's looking for that overhand right. Almost like Duff Holmes said, look for that overhand right. See him and go for it again. He's got it working off a jab, though. An overhand right from that far away is not going to do it. You're not Chuck Liddell.
No. Chuck Liddell's one of a kind throwing that
Maybe 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he might be back fighting Tito Ortiz.
I saw him recently. It looked ugly, though.
Yeah. Well, so did Tito Ortiz's last fight, let's be honest.
True.
That was pretty ugly as well. I could talk all night about that. But right now we have two young amateur warriors in there throwing cuffs.
If you notice, Curtis is trying to push that action and close the distance because Devin is definitely the taller fighter. He has much more range.
Yeah, you got Jackson, he's trying to utilize those kicks right now. behind the jab, but like you said, Doolen just keeps diving in, looking for that overhand.
Well, and both these guys are not turning over the hips on their kicks. So even though they're kicking, they're not devastating kicks. They're not real painful kicks because they're not internally rotating that hip.
And Doolen's connecting on the head. He's landing shots. He's getting in there. He's just not having any power behind them.
Because he's not turning the hip on the punch either. Again, that comes with being a novice.
That might have been his best shot.
That comes with being a novice, though.
Yeah, you'll learn as you're in there.
Absolutely. Now, I've not seen Doolen throw one jab. If I was his coach, I'd be saying 1-1-2. 1-1
Set
leg
it up
kick.
a little.
Set it up with something. You got to close 6 inches of distance right now if you're Curtis Doolen.
He just threw a couple more punches while he's in there. Landed with the left. Jackson pushes forward with a kick.
But if you notice, he's letting Jackson look better because Jackson's a longer fighter. He's not closing the distance and engaging with that jab. See him start with the right hand? Yep. He's got to start with that jab. Jab, jab, cross.
And he's backing up, so that probably looks bad as well on the scorecards for the judges. Well, some might see it, you're backing up.
Well, and as a shorter fighter, a lot of times, sometimes you want them to come in because that helps you close the distance. But if he's not capitalizing on the opportunities, you're right, it looks worse for him.
As Doolen just ate a jab from Jacksland as he went in there.
It's
hard.
He
really needs to set it up.
It's hard. I almost want to yell at him, jab, but I can't because we're commentating. Jackson's doing a nice hand, giving his right hand up. Less than 30 seconds left in this second round, folks.
This is an interesting round to score. As you know, Jackson's been pushing forward. Doolen's been landing shots, but it's been back and forth. I'm going to have to give this round, if it ends like this, to Jacksland, excuse me.
I definitely give this round to Jacksland. There's no doubt about it.
Pushing forward. He's eating shots, but he's landing kicks. He's pushing forward. He's landing a few good jabs. That knocked Doolen's head back. So
I got 1-1.
I agree. I'm on the same page as you. And we're going to round 3, ladies and gentlemen, here at Cage Wars 37. Your commentary is being brought to you by Will Barry and myself, Kyle Carroll.
I'm really curious to see how this third round plays out. Both guys seem pretty composed. Neither one of them seems overly tired.
Yeah, to be honest, at first in the first round, mouthpieces were out, mouths were open. I thought they'd be a little bit more fatigued, both fighters.
I will say I've seen Devin's confidence grow over those 3 rounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He grew stronger as the rounds finished. Into the second round, he got stronger.
Because he's realized he has to respect Curtis's punches less and less.
Yep. Curtis could, like you said, turn those hips behind those punches. He's finishing this.
Heavy hands come from heavy hips. Most people don't understand that.
And he's not setting anything up right away. There you go. That's the first.
There's a jab.
Little left followed up after the right, but didn't really land much.
They're both willing to exchange in the center of the ring. I give them both credit. Devin's doing a nice job keeping his right hand up.
Interviewing Doolen, he said there'd be fireworks, and these two guys, they're leaving it all out there. Oh, big shots.
Oh!
That was the best shots of the night by Doolen.
Devin's still pushing that pace forward.
He ate a jab right there as Doolen went in.
Now this is where like a front teep kick would do Doolen well.
Kind of keep him from pushing forward.
Yes, because he's got to create
another
distance.
right and a left. Doolen's starting to feel a little confidence.
Oh, back of the head.
That looked like it stunned Doolen for a second.
If you get punched in the back of the head, it stun you too.
Most definitely. Little donkey punch.
Hey now, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Jackson very confident right now. He does not respect Doolen whatsoever.
No, and he's using that reach with that jab.
He does not respect Doolen's strength whatsoever right now. He's continually pushing the pace and saying, bring it, Curtis, bring it.
And it's not looking good for on the scores cards. Doolen's backing up, trying to throw a jab. We got a little blood. I don't know where it's coming from. It looks like the nose of Doolen.
Doolen is very tired. His hands are down when he's throwing those punches. They're definitely arm punches.
Minute 10 left in the fight.
They're both bringing it. I got to give this round to Devon Jackson right now. He's doing a nice job maintaining the center of the ring.
Hey, he's doing a good job pushing forward. Doolen really hasn't had much of an answer. He lands a couple and then backs up.
Doolen's hands are down much further than they have been. He's much more tired.
Hey, let me tell you, the times he's had success, he's used that jab, like you've mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. If you're the shorter fighter, you have to use that jab to close the distance.
And Devin right now is starting to, nice shot by Doolen, but Devin was starting to pick it up just before those.
Well, because here's the thing, Devin does not respect the power in Curtis's hands. If you don't feel a threat, you can engage much more than you normally would.
Most definitely. As we're down to 15 seconds.
Curtis
12,
definitely looks tired.
10-second warning, and these two are just going to start throwing, it looked like.
That's the end of the third round. Definitely.
End of the fight.
I give the final 2 rounds to Jackson, 2 rounds to 1.
And both those fighters, they left it all out there, that's for sure. This Doolen went right over to give a congratulations on a great fight fought. I'm interested to see how this could go. I really think this could go either way. There's no doubt about that.
I see it 2 rounds to 1, Devon Jackson.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 2 rounds to Doolen.
I like it, Kyle. I love it.
I just think they might see Doolen's volume, but
yeah, there wasn't really much grappling, so who knows?
As we're waiting on the official decision from the judges, it should be an interesting one to hear how they scored. You know, half the crowds are Doolen, so either way they're going to be loud or
but
booing.
MMA brings half the crew anyway.
Yeah, so.
I mean, Devin honestly looks like he can go another 3 rounds.
And here we are, Alexius Phoenix brings him to the center of the cage for the official decision. And we're just waiting on judges right now. It looks like they're tallying it up. Someone's math might have been a little off, so here we go. Mike Flava reads the official decision. We're bringing it up to the ring announcer.
I love how he looks to us. Teamwork.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we go to the official scorecard. Judge A ruling the fight 29-28. Judge B ruling the fight 29-28. And Judge C ruling the fight 29-28. Unanimous decision for Devon Jackson.
Just the